brothers and sisters. That's four, you said. You put four up. He wasn't good at his math, you know, but three brothers and sisters.
Three the brother and sister and one person who grew with us, you know,
four people. Okay? So Gilles decided, so they sent him to Italy to take your master's in
food processing.
In food processing, master's in food processing in Italian. French, went to Italy, had to take his master's. I couldn't even take my master's in Jamaican, okay? Because it's tough already. You have to do it in Italian. So he learned Italian, and what you didn't see on the show was there's a back and forth between him and Vincenzo in Italian. And Vincenzo's like, his Italian is better than mine. And then he took his master's, got it. Then he came to Canada and he said, I don't want to go to French Canada. I want to go to English Canada. Didn't speak a word of English. Became a science teacher in Whitby, okay? And then he started a business. So how could you not invest behind somebody like that at the end of the day? And that's the story.
First, Dragons and producers, can we get that Italian exchange released? Gilles, you're here, you've gone viral. What was that experience like to go viral, to be seen all over the world, to have so many kind, wonderful comments about you? Because I think sometimes going viral in 2025 is a bad thing, right? But for you, it was a positive thing. You touched people from every part of the globe. What was that like?
Honestly, it took so long for me to even process it because, yes, I have dreamed big, but not, you know, it's like you are dreaming about something you know it's not going to happen, then you just keep dreaming. For me, just setting my feet into the carpet of the dragon, for me was already the deal. Like they called me, you know, from the first call and until I found myself in this building, it was like, man, you know. But after that, after the viral, you know, getting the video becoming viral, honestly, the only thing that I was really feeling good about was about the comment. People saying that how much they had been inspired, right? That was kind of really fulfilling, you know, knowing that your little story is actually kind of giving that courage to other immigrants as me to do something, to start their business, to, you know, to participate in this.
I want to point out, your clip is one my mom sent me. Like my Vietnamese immigrant mom sent me this and was just so happy because she watches the CBC and she saw it. I gotta ask you, going back to what Wes said earlier, so you came every day as a stand-in hoping to pitch? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so from the first day they call me and say, okay, we received your, you know, your application. I was like, no way. Like, again, I applied. For me, it was just to, I mean, my biggest dream was if I can just get those dragons to make a comment and tell me something, you know, that I can make better, I can do better, you know, that would be the deal. But so from the moment they called me, I was like, okay, I'm going to do everything possible, you know, so that if they even say no, I will know that it wasn't for me. I have done everything I could. And I always tell to people, to my friends who want to try the dragon, I would say, the first people who are actually, you know, who contact you and start talking to you are the one who's going to give you the ticket to meet the dragon. So you better meet them like you are already on the show. So I just keep doing what I can. They will say, okay, we're going to call you back. Okay, you are not sure. Get prepared. They call me twice. I'm going to tell you something. One day they call me and say, get prepared. I prepare everything. I'm there working, and I was supposed to, I killed them who I had to stay there, prepare at home, and maybe they'll call me. So I'm there from the morning until about 5. I saw the call and like, okay, we are sorry, it's not going to happen. But, you know, I'm like, as long as you keep saying, you know, just I will be there waiting, you know, until, you know. So I just keep doing that. Yeah.
Something I pulled out of that was that it feels oftentimes entrepreneurs and the people who have been successful in the den, they do everything possible to make it a success. They do everything, they leave it all out there. I gotta ask you, with your business, what was the process like to take African cuisine, African flavors, and then bring it to a different market, bring it to a different place with different tastes and how we approach food. How is that for you to bring that authenticity to a new place?
First of all, I mean, the most important thing is to start, first of all, to do that first step. And then be open to learn, because most of the things, even though I had the background in the food processing, most of the things I learned by doing, right? But in general, I will attend a lot of workshops. You know, there was a lot of workshops. Sometimes I would attend 2 at the same time with 2 computers. At some point, I went to that. You know, talking to people, you know, asking questions. People are great. People want to help. That's the most important thing. Canadians, they want to help. As long as you come and explain, present yourself, you know, as you are, you know, with your authentic story, they are curious, right? And from that moment when I noticed, you know, that the homesickness that I was suffering, you know, and trying to make some product to fix it myself, and sharing those products, they were like, we love this. We like, you know, how can we get more of this, you know? So
I should say when we're on the show and we're tasting, because they give you the food to taste, right? And Robert Hertzebach was on the show at the time. And, you know, while he was pitching and we're eating, it was so good. Robert kept saying, Jollof. While he's eating, Jollof.
yes, that's correct.
But, you know, he's like, he never heard of jollof rice before, but he loved it so much. And so that's what happens really when you bring, like for him, he felt, I'm going to the stores, no African food. So you can either complain about it, or you can do something about it. And he decided that I'm going to do something about it. And he decided I'm going to actually make it so it can be authentic. And that's what he did, and that's what's so beautiful about it.
Feels that's going to be the theme of a lot of these entrepreneurs on this panel right now. I got to ask you, since the show, what has happened to the company?
Oh man, it's great, it's great. Yeah. Right now we are on Loblaws and Sobeys, and there are even other retailers that are showing some interest. Just 2 days ago, I had someone from Farmboy saying, hey, how can we get your product? Straight line, how can we get your product? Who is your distributor? Because we actually changed the distributor and they were looking, you know, so this kind of show how, you know, the interest that is there, you know, to have the manager, you know, from the headquarters to call us, you know. I mean, this is it's coming to confirm that the opportunity is there. People are open to try new product, to try the diverse product. So,
Wes, you said to me earlier, you were going to be the guy that they didn't ask who you were, they were going to come to you.
Yeah,
he just said that.
And that's what happens when you put your product out there and you put yourself out there, right? You know, you have to be your best spokesperson for whatever it is that you do. You can't rely on somebody else to do it. If he didn't come every day, if he didn't pitch as passionate as he did, it wouldn't have happened, right? But the thing about the show is that a lot of people see me and they ask me, so how much money have you made on the show, right? And how many home runs have you hit on the show? It's not about that. It's really not. These are venture investing that we're doing. Venture. 95% of the investment you make in venture investing, you lose it. I'm not suggesting that that's our math here on the show, but I'm just suggesting that the beautiful thing about it is that we're funding people's dreams. That's what it is. So if you only look at the math, you'll never invest in people like Gilles or anybody else for that matter who has an idea and want to get it going. And that's the beauty about the show. The beauty about the show is that venture investing is the most difficult money to get. The most difficult. And for 20 years, there's a platform in this country where you can get the opportunity, and all you have to do is to do a great pitch, right? You're gonna do a great pitch, and you're likely gonna get the money, and you're gonna get some mentorship. And sometimes it's so much better to get the mentorship than to get the money, because the mentorship can lead you so much further. And that's what we do on the show, and that's what we're doing. We're giving them money, but we're also giving him a lot of mentorship as well.
Everyone, a round of applause. Gilles Tchappi over here. All right. Komlanvi Dodjro, we haven't seen you yet. You're coming up on this upcoming season. Tell us about your business.
Yes, how's everybody doing tonight? Come on, it's 20th season of A Dragon's Den. You gotta make some noise. How's everybody doing? There you go. My name is Komlanvi Dodjro, so my company is Dodjivi. So we offer superfood, mushroom coffee. So taking nature's best and mixing with coffee. So you drink it and you have all the benefits of mushroom. So go ahead.
And I've seen your pitch.
Yes.
You haven't seen it. You haven't seen it.
No.
I've seen the pitch.
Yeah.
Tell us about some of these benefits of your coffee.
So it's a long story. So my partner was having health issues, and I grew up in West Africa, grew up poor, and I remember whenever you have a stomach burn, you have whatever bobo you have, your mom will go to the nearest plant remedy and get you that remedy and plant, and you drink it. Sometimes it tastes nasty, but you feel better. So when she was having that problem, my instinct went to, oh, wait a minute, there has to be something. A lot of issues, inflammation, back operation. She wasn't sure she was gonna pull through. The medication weren't helping, and I was looking for a natural solution, and I read about mushroom. And I'm like, wait a minute, you gotta try it. And she tried several weeks, it helped, and we decided to do something and get people to take medicinal mushroom into their daily lives, and we mix with the coffee. That's the short story of...
Short story, that's amazing. And I love that in every culture, we have a thing that our parents just give us to get better.
Yes.
Vian, it's the green oil. It's the green Eagle brand oil. You put it on everything. It helps with your feet, it helps with aches, pains, heartbreak, it helps all those things, all right? But going back to your story here, you were a salsa dancer, because you showed us earlier. You showed us some of the salsa moves.
Yes.
How do you go from salsa dancer with a thing you tried, you researched on for your wife, to turning that into a business? When was that moment for you?
It's a long journey, because salsa dancer, what I realized is, I'll go back, fast forward. I moved to Canada at the age of teenager. I've never met my father. I only met my father at the airport. So I remember my grandmother. I grew up working in the farm, after school, helping to provide for the family. And one day my grandmother leased me a land, and I decided to harvest that land and planted cotton that I later on sold so that I can go to school and have food. True story. So I felt that entrepreneurship, it felt good to be able to do something that is bigger than me, provide for myself, and so it never left me. So with the salsa dancer thing, it's one thing after the other. I met my partner because I've always grew up dancing in Togo, West Africa. And my friend took me to a club one day, and I said yes, and I fell in love, and I decided, you know what, I want to do that. It makes me happy, it makes people happy. I want to do something that always brings joy. I'm a joy bringer. So with that, salsa dancing is health and wellness. So when I was trying to help my partner, I never thought I would turn into a business. So it's kind of one thing that led to the other. To your point earlier, if you don't know, you will figure it out. Like, I'm not an herbalist, I'm not a scientist. So when the idea came, we team up with people that, scientists and the best in the industry to put the recipe together. So that's the...
And how long have you been doing this for?
It started as a side hustle. And
it always does.
I know.
It's
a side hustle. Seeing the impact the product was having on people's health, and I said, you know what, I really want to do this. But I had a full-time job, and up to 2.5 years ago, I quit my job, secure job, to do this full-time. As an entrepreneur, it's the greatest sacrifice you can make, and it's very scary. But when I made that decision, it was like, it felt good. You know, it felt good, even though that secure income I don't have anymore. But building the business, one of my mentors once told me when I made the decision, he said, "Well, you're 2 feet under the water now." I'm like, "Damn, you can't say that to an African. We don't know how to swim. So how am I going to swim out of this ocean?" So, sad story. It's a very scary thing. You just have to keep fighting, keep believing yourself, and get help. People are always willing to, you gotta go in. Otherwise, you're 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
Wes, you talk about this. I've heard you talk about like asking them, is this your full-time job? You know, it's your thing. When you look at someone like Komlanvi here, what jumps out to you as something that inspires you?
Well, I would say just he went for it, right? Because anybody who watches the show and know that I don't invest behind anyone who's doing this as a side hustle. I just don't. And I'm not suggesting that everybody should be like me, but when I started my business, I had 3 kids at home with my wife, and I had a mortgage, and I quit my day job to start my company. And I wasn't seeking investment from anyone. Once you start to seek investment from people, it can't be a side hustle. Like, it can't be. Because I'm gonna ride you like a rented mule because you have my money. And I wanna get a return on my investment. So when I call you up and you go, "Hey, I'm at my day job now, I can't talk to you," I'm gonna have a problem with that as an investor. So why do I get into that relationship when I know that it's gonna be a problem for me? So up front, when I ask the question, "Is this your side hustle?" and people say yes, that may be for one of the dragons, but it's not for me, right? And because when everything is on the line for you, everything, when I knew that based on my work or my lack of hard work, my kids aren't gonna be diapered tonight, or we're not gonna have any food in the fridge, right? That motivation is very, very different for me than if I know that there's a paycheck coming in 2 weeks. And so I want that hunger that I feel for each entrepreneur that I invest behind, they feel it too. And that's why I don't mind if I lose money behind people, because I'm investing in the person and their hard work, their work ethic, their drive, their passion. That's what I'm investing in. But if their passion is divided, I can't invest behind them.
And Komlanvi, we're gonna see if you got that investment this upcoming season. Round of applause for Komlanvi Dodjro. And finally, Rude Mama herself, your Rude Mama hot sauce right there, your Vietnamese sauce, Vian Nguyen. We met during Asian Heritage Month here, is that right?
We met at the Asian market earlier in the year.
Yeah.
And then I remember I'm fangirling you so hard. And then finally I got to take a picture with you. Yeah.
And then I bought some of your hot sauces. You really inflated my ego, and then I bought a bunch of sauces. Very good sales technique. Tell us about your product.
So we do authentic Vietnamese hot sauce that handcrafted from a traditional recipe from Central Vietnam. But then we manufacture our hot sauce in Canada using only Canadian ingredients. And then we want to stay true to our authentic self by the texture that we deliver. It's more chunky. It like salsa, and then the heat comes slow because we exclusively use only Thai chili pepper inside. Reckon whenever you go to a Vietnamese restaurant, they serve you the long red chili with pho. That is the one we use in our jars.
Vian, why don't you tell us about your story? Like, that's one of the things that's beautiful about Dragon's Den, right? We always ask, tell me, what led you to sauce? Like, what led you to do what you do? Tell them a little bit about that.
It's been 11 years ago, gosh, I'm so old. When I tried the hot sauce first time when I was in university in Vietnam, and I immediately fell in love, and I wish that that hot sauce was like my husband, like we're gonna be happily married right now. And
What was your job in Vietnam?
I was executive operation in one of the biggest hospital in Ho Chi Minh City at that time.
She was a hospital executive. that left that job to do hot sauce. Go ahead, sorry.
And then I even trained myself to eat more spicy food just so I can handle the hot sauce. And when I came to Canada in 2017, I don't have family here. And it just like it prolonged the longing, the homesick, and then I ventured to all the other hot sauce in the market. And then I started to get like heartburn, I started to have like acid reflux because they drown in the vinegar base. It still couldn't cure my homesick, and something like lightened up in my mind at that time that a lot of the time people come to, like when they heard about Vietnamese cuisine, the only thing they think about is banh mi or like pho. But then we don't actually have something that you can carry on your pocket. You can put it on anywhere, like any food that you want, like on poutine or like on a lobster roll, you still can taste the taste of Vietnam. And that is why I'm planning to, like I want to create something like that. And then the recipe, it actually took me 2 years to develop them. Because you remember, like traditionally we put fish sauce on every single thing. And then I wanted to, like if I put my hot sauce in the middle of the table, I want everybody there will be able to taste that. So I tried to develop a vegan version of that. And now it's all gluten-free, nut-free, soy-free, dairy-free.
It's when you say that, because like my background is Vietnamese Chinese, but growing up, there was always a bowl of fish sauce on anything. You put it on, you literally put it on anything, right?
You can do shot with that as well.
You do shots with it? Oh, you're a different type of Vietnamese. You party on another level. Okay, all right, okay.
I think she's got a bit of Jamaican in her.
With the fish sauce.
Some shots on there.
But reading about your background here, you were a student, you went to working into business. Tell us about that jump from being a student, having a job, and then going into this.
I started in Canada as an international student, and the path for me is like if I get a degree for 2 years, I get granted another 3 years working like for Canadian experience. And like I came here, I don't have much like financial support, so like I work 3 jobs, 4 jobs at that time. And then also, even when I got the degree and then when I got the work experience in Vietnam, like those doesn't really transfer when I came here. So I start from the beginning, like from the bottom. I work in fast food restaurant. I work in the kitchen because like at the same time that is the only place that I can apply for. And then because I don't have family, I don't have anybody to put down as like an emergency contact. So it kind of that kind of experience taught me for a long while. But then like you make the most out of your circumstance. Like I get into work to the kitchen and I get into work with those amazing chefs that they really put all of their innovation or like their heart and soul into the food that they cook. So I learned how to do elevated cuisine, elevated dish, and that is also fuel to what I'm doing right now.
Wes, I'm sitting here thinking about this here. These are 3 entrepreneurs coming into this country as newcomers, bringing a product that does not exist, bringing something completely brand new, so we don't know if it's going to work, and they're pushing through and making this happen right now. How does that feel for you seeing this?
I think it's wonderful, man. Like I came from a plantation worker shack in rural Jamaica. You know, just like you never thought that you would get on the show, I never thought I would leave that place. And then when I got to the airplane, I didn't think the airplane was going to take off. And when I got to Canada, I didn't think customs was going to let me through. There's all these things that it's just one step at a time to get to your goal, right? One step at a time. And I think that's what I see in these folks. They just got to their goal one step at a time. And when you finally hit your goal, it's not success. Getting to your goal doesn't mean you're successful. Getting to your goal means that, okay, what next? And for them, they're going to continue to work hard. They're going to continue to ask the question, what's next? But this country is the best place in the world for folks to come and come with nothing and get to a place whereby you're now on the stage at CBC talking about your product, right? This is the Canadian dream. And it just warms my heart when I see people living it.
I gotta ask each entrepreneurs as we wrap up here, when people taste your food, they try your products, what do you want them to take away from it? And is it any way connected to your culture itself? Vian, let's start with you.
I mean, the soul of our product is why the room of my name come is me playing tribute to those sassy, independent women that shape my upbringing. Those that get called difficult to work with, those that get called like rude or whatever name they can think of. And I want people to kind of like remember that there's always like one woman in your life that's tough with you, that's strict with you, but then they want you to be successful. And it also those that like they really strict on what they're doing, but then anything that they touch is amazing. And then that is what I want for my house. Like if you put it on foot, it's gonna taste amazing.
That's amazing. Rude Mama, the real ones who were there, they're real with us. I love it. Komlanvi, about your team, what do you want people to take away from it?
For Dodjivi is what we're doing is mushrooms have been on this earth since the civilization. So we're just taking nature's best and finding an easier way for people to take it. When you hear mushroom, what you hear psychedelic. So we want to have people to feel good, it tastes good. We're just taking the nature's best and making it easier for people to get healthy and feel good about themselves. And by the way, the name of my company, Dodjivi, it means perseverance and patience. The V stands for take a small step, never give up. So that's us. So whenever you take Dodjivi, it's a dose of vitality daily. Thank you.
Yes, for me, our products, I mean, we want to go beyond the products. For me, the product, I want to represent the culture. I want people to feel the struggle, the joy, the passion, the dream that I'm carrying, and as much as many other immigrants, in particular immigrants from the Black community, right? I want people to know that the Black community is also part of the diversity. When I came here, I went to the store, I was working there, I couldn't find any product from the, that represent the Afro-Caribbean culture, right? So for me, I know this place is a diverse place. We are in Toronto, one of the most diverse place in the world. But how come we don't have a product here, right? And I knew that something has to be done, right? So for me, that's what I'm trying to I mean, there's a lot to do in that space, but I'm bringing my little touch with my products. So yeah, basically, I want people to see the culture, to know that when they look at this, they don't just see the product, they see people. When they are walking down the aisles of the store and they see product from Asia, product from Europe, they can also see product from that represent the African community, and and that's how I believe we keep together building the diversity.
We want to recognize the people that have had importance in our lives, but we want to recognize the culture. We want to celebrate it, enjoy it. Round of applause to our panelists here. Wes Hall, Gilles Tchappi, Komlanvi Dodjro, Vian Nguyen. They're in the lobby area talking about their products, but my man right here, you've got a photo session going on. If you want a photo with the best dressed man in this building, he's gonna be right there. Line up now, and we'll be back here in a bit with another session from Angie Midhas in a little bit. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.